And we are live. My name is Outlaw. I am your host of RNN Live. Now, before we get into today's discussion, let's have our guests introduce themselves, starting from the bottom.
Hi, my name is 18 Putza, and I'm not playing Mass Effect at the moment.
He's lying. I couldn't think of an intro.
Okay, fine. I'm playing The Sims.
And yes, good day to you, Roy, as well.
Roy.
Now, before... Yes?
No, I said it's Roy.
Now, before we get into today's video topic, is there anything we wanted to bring up first in the news?
Yes, Fauci fell off a cliff and brutally died, and I got a boner from it.
We wish.
No, we actually do have some big news. The New York Times confirmed that Hunter Biden's laptop exists, and there's been pictures going around the internet. Outlaw, or you can contest it.
Yeah, I can confirm, but I don't support the idea of sharing those photos since it is of a child, specifically.
Don't worry. The pictures in question are not as bad as you're thinking of, probably, but they are still bad considering they're off his knees.
Oh, yeah.
That tweet is already gone, though.
Yeah, I would think it should be, because even with the crime of what the guy did, I don't support sharing the images of the child like that around on the internet. Even just to show that he's a bad, I think it should be shown in a proper setting of stuff, but not in that particular way.
Yeah, but don't worry, there's an online archive of images from Hunter Biden's laptop, and, well, let's just say those images, they may not be as bad as the ones that I've shown you, and technically there's a link to it on my Discord, but I had to disable the link partially. But anyways, there is an online archive of pictures from the laptop, and let's just say it involves a lot of prostitutes in states where prostitution is illegal, and a lot of drugs, which are very illegal in many states.
Anyways, there is, I would say, at least significant evidence to, at the very least, investigate Hunter Biden with pedophilia.
You see, the issue is he's already under investigation for other stuff, and with the whole reveal of the laptop, it's now actually implicated the president himself. So we'll have to see where this goes. Probably nothing with Biden, because that's unfortunately the modern world of politics. But with, Russia on one hand and this on the other, it's bound to be a bit... Oh, right, I completely forgot. I do have some news from earlier this week, which is just hilarious to cite. It's not Putin, but I can't remember... Well, first off, I couldn't pronounce his name if I tried, but I can't remember exactly who from the Russian government. But they are demanding Alaska and part of California as reparations.
I didn't hear about the California part, but I did hear about the Alaska.
Which country?
Russia.
They're demanding Alaska and part of California as reparations, blah, 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 because of how damaging the U.S. sanctions have been. But it's like...
We'll just say that those places are gay, and he doesn't want them.
Let me just find the exact thing.
Anyways, any other news?
Let's see.
What did happen this week?
Pardon?
Trying to remember.
Anyways, the DP says, "This is America. Commies be slappin' though." Or sorry, slippin' though.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been quite a bit of the whole thing. Russia bans Joe Biden from Russia, and then demands the return of Alaska and California fort, and threatens nuclear strikes on the U.S. over
No,
Ukraine.
the U.S. never bought anything of California from Russia.
No, they want a Californian fort. They want basically a certain location, but not really.
Wait a minute. I might actually support this. Here's my reasoning. We could get rid of California, and we could give the Californians weapons to go fight Russia. See? You kill two birds with one stone. And then we
Anyways, I think
evac-
that's... Is there
Sorry.
anything else to discuss before we go on to the video topic?
No, just Putin is becoming desperate.
I mean, North Korea
So-
is his friend and supports him.
Okay, I got a message from Steelfang. He says, I'm running late. I'm waiting on my background to get my new gun.
Oh.
Hey! Good on him.
I want to say good on him, but at the same time, I've chatted with Steel Fang, and my main question is, how did he get past the background check?
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Nothing.
I'm now wondering what you're trying to say, but okay. I mean, I guess we could wait a few more minutes. Is there really anything...
Oh,
Yes?
sorry, I'm just tired. I'm a little shouty. No, I mean, I have a palate cleanser would be a couple minutes. That would kill some time.
Are you talking about the Joe Biden thing?
Yeah.
I guess we could look at that. Let me see. You watch this while we're waiting for him. Okay. We'll give it a few minutes. If not after this, then we'll just go right into the video.
Got you.
Previously on Jovican.
What
the
You're finally awake.
Where the hell am I?
Stolen the horse and been halfway to Hammerfell.
A Nord's last thoughts should be of home.
Let's get this over with.
Let's get what over with.
It's uncomfortable how well this
We're
works.
not rebels.
Face your death. Courage.
You've got to tell them we worked with you. This is a mistake.
Step towards the block when we call
The
you.
flying dinosaur.
Hey, horse thief. Let's make a break for it. When they call your name, I distract them and you can make a run for it.
All right. I'm trusting you, old man.
You're a truly honorable man, horse thief.
We've only got one shot at this. I know you won't let me down.
You're absolutely right, only one shot. That's all we got, just that one shot. Or did I get two shots?
I'm
Or was it three?
uncomfortable with how
What about the booster? Where's that son of a Fauci when you need him?
Now is the time, old man.
Oh.
Go. You're not gonna kill me.
Oh shit, I forgot about the distraction.
Anyone else feel like running?
Well, considering you're going to kill me anyway, what have I got to lose?
Who are you?
My name is Joe Biden, but you've got to listen to me. I think I may be in some sort of alternate universe. I was supposed to be going for nap time, and now I'm here with all you people. I'm very scared.
Okay, this one's clearly batshit crazy.
He goes to the block.
Keep calm, Joe. This is all probably just some sort of prank by the White House staffers. Probably just word that word millennial humor. They'll drop the act any second now. There's no way they're actually going to start killing people. Even bet that horse thief was just acting. Okay, well, that guy definitely not acting. Oh, man, I think this is really it. Oh, well, I guess I had a good run. At least I can rest peacefully knowing I led the honorable life of a career politician.
What in oblivion is that?
Hey, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
What do you see?
Oh my God, there's a flying dinosaur.
This way!
Now's my only chance. Well, here goes nothing. You're on a mo, my back. Going to be some serious changes in the Secret Service after this.
Jeez.
You, come on! Into the lead!
Yeah, no offense, Edward, but I'm going to go with the guy who didn't just try and cut my head off.
This is funny so far, but hold on. Let's just pause it for just a sec, because trying to reduce the amount of copyright blocking. I have no idea how much it's going to potentially block it, but hopefully it doesn't.
I mean, I've used the Skyrim theme several times before. Alright. Well, yeah, better be safe than sorry.
Yeah, but also video game themes, unless it's Nintendo, you can get away with it for quite a bit.
I see.
Alright, let's continue. Oh, jeez.
Phew, at least in here we're safe from the giant flying lizard.
That armor on Ganyar isn't doing him any good. Go ahead, take it.
I don't know, RedWolphe. Blue isn't really my color.
It's imperious!
Oh, shit. I don't mean to get all PC and everything, but in the current political climate, I really can be seen to do comedy to the death with a woman. Especially a woman of color.
Don't worry about it. Us Stormcloaks don't discriminate when it comes to who we kill.
Well, I guess that's admirable. But if it's all the same, I'll take the white guy.
Sure, I guess. Whatever you say.
Good. When RedWolphe, one more thing. You might want to work on that attitude problem. This one's for corn pop.
Oh, jeez.
Not bad, old man.
Oh, Joey B still got it.
Let's go. A storeroom. See if you can find any potions. We'll need them.
Well, ho, this stuff makes me feel like I'm 71 again. Jesus Christ. This place is almost as bad as Guantanamo. What are you looking at me for? It's not like you're gonna need it. Well, if all my shoes are wet. Are those giant fucking spiders? I was, just checking if there was anything on the ground.
Hold up! There's a bear just ahead. See her? Try to sneak by. Just take it nice and slow. And watch where you... What the fuck?
Nice doggy.
No!
Down, boy. RedWolphe, help. My back.
Hold up there.
Sweet fucking Jesus, my back. Bad doggy. Very bad doggy.
Oh, jeez.
Rock reveals the real reason he's in Fortnite. That might be something to keep on the back burner for the time being, but holy crap, this was great.
Oh, hold on. We got this here.
This is the story of how Biden won the 2020 election.
Oh, jeez. Alright, so, alright, let's get on with the video. We're gonna I'm gonna share it now.
I don't know.
Alright, so the one I guess we'll start with at least is the Right Libertarians Are Just Fascists by Adam something.
My spicy hot takes. Well, I guess the title kinda gives it away in advance, doesn't it? So what led me to this conclusion? Why do I think that libertarians, right libertarians to be specific, are fascists? And of course I'm not talking about every single person who identifies as libertarian, or even right libertarian, but I did notice some worrying trends among people who call themselves that. And also, libertarianism has become an integral part of the Republican Party, which is a far-right party by any measure. So there appears to be some definite...
It really just isn't. And why are you saying what? This has been a common talking point within the crazy left.
Well, yes, but it's still very out of nowhere sometimes. Like you said, that is very clearly a far right party, and it's just like, well, the other party is far left. It's
Well,
The
yeah,
Republican Party has not like changed in the sense of getting like more radical conservative views at all. It's stayed in the sense of conservatism. Actually, it's gotten more liberal, if anything.
yes. Well, let's say it like that. More mainstream conservatism has become more libertarian, but unfortunately, the more prevalent ideology in the Republican Party is neocons.
Well, yes, but anyways, but as far as it's changing, the neocons haven't changed, and the more liberal conservatives, they've only become more liberal or libertarian. The only ones that have really had any authoritarian view change is the left, because the view of immigration has stayed pretty much the same throughout the entirety with the right. The views on drugs, the right has become more lenient on it, and is not fully, but getting more lenient as time goes on.
I mean, I haven't heard a mainstream Republican argue against gay marriage in a while now, and try to
Yes.
run on that platform. So
It's just, I don't see how they understand that. That means that they're radical. The right hasn't moved in such a huge amount. It stayed somewhat more going more liberty oriented, but yet they consider it more radical today than it was perhaps a couple decades ago.
yeah, well, I mean, I do kind of have a reason to why he thinks like that. So, in particularly, the left is very good at collectivizing people. They'll look at like an entire race of people and they'll put them all together in the same camp for the most part. And I think that they view right-leaning ideologies or just ideologies that go against them as the same. Like it's the joke or the meme, all these extremes are on the same team. And I think that's the reason why he put them together. It's not that they are the same, but they're in opposition to him.
Anyways, let's continue.
Connection between the far right and right libertarianism. But why? I mean, theoretically, they're supposed to be on different ends of the spectrum. You know, right-wing authoritarians wanting more government control, at least in theory, and right libertarians wanting less. And so here we arrive at an absolutely crucial distinction.
Uncle Sam
When I
has
say
joined the chat.
right-wing libertarian,
What?
I said Uncle
What'd you
Sam
say?
has joined the chat.
Oh.
I said Uncle Sam has joined the chat. How many times do I have to fucking repeat?
He's one of my favorite Smash characters.
It's American Dreamer. I went back to my old name. I could make an educated guess as to that, but I'm just gonna say Uncle Sam because you're also using the imagery of Uncle Sam.
I don't mean people who fit the definition of right-wing libertarian. I mean people who identify as right-wing libertarian. And so, do the following names sound familiar to you? Richard Spencer,
No, he's definitely not right-wing libertarian.
No.
He's actually, and I don't think he's ever identified as a libertarian. He
No,
said
he
himself that
hates
he's a
being called
communist.
a libertarian.
I mean, the moment that he said, if we're being brutally honest, we're not for free speech. So, libertarian, my ass.
Well, yeah, but also the fact that the guy's praised Karl Marx, so he is at least a socialist, if not a
Yeah.
communist.
Yeah, ironically, Marx has made the thoughts of a lot of... Well, just any economics that requires authoritarianism, he's quoted a lot. He's like the Sam... Holy shit! Bless you! He's like the Sam Adams of...
Thank you.
Fuck, was it... Who wrote The Wealth of the Nation? Was it William Smith? He's like the William Smith of their version of economics.
No, I'm just talking about that Richard Spencer has praised Karl Marx, and that he's admitted to basically being a socialist.
Yeah. I know, I was just stating that Marx is quoted via through the right and the left of their authoritarian economics, or when it comes to authoritarian anything, he's used as a justification a lot.
Now, I also have never heard either of them call themselves libertarians, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
I don't
aspect.
think. I think Richard Spencer has said once that he isn't a libertarian.
I mean, I will give him some credit. A lot of people who identify as libertarian probably aren't really libertarian. They want certain rights, but I think in practice, if you really put everything together, they wouldn't identify as libertarian.
You mean like all the feminists who suddenly became housewives when they realized that they're on the draft now?
Now, as far as what's this guy's name? I keep forgetting. Yiannopoulos, Milo Yiannopoulos.
Yeah.
As far as this guy goes, he's probably just a legitimate grifter, and I mean that in the sense that he's just doing everything for the money or attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has said that before.
So he's not a good example to bring up, for one.
Yeah.
Milo Yiannopoulos. Gavin McInnes.
Gavin McInnes. I don't know all of his politics. I really don't, so I can't say on him.
I don't know. Like I've seen some of his videos. He comes across as more center right.
I remember.
I mean, not culturally, but like economically, more center right.
Uncle Sam, to answer your question, yes, I have brought up about the laptop. He's just asking have we already talked about the laptop?
Yeah, he hired me to scrub him out of it.
Also, I would like to mention that perhaps maybe with this person, I don't know, maybe he considers anyone who is a nationalist as far right, which I'm a nationalist, but I'm also very libertarian.
I thought you were
Legitimately
a
so.
patriot.
I mean, that
No,
is sort
well,
of,
I'm a patriot, but I'm also a nationalist.
Quit appropriating my culture. We only are the ones who like to use nationalism.
hey,
when I
you
mean
lost
that-
World War II. Shut up.
Anyways, the whole thing is like also
Stop
people
us to
seem
do it at your time.
people seem to often conflate all forms of nationalism with imperialism or with the Nazis or with with fascism, which is not the case. There are different forms of nationalism. There's civic nationalism. There's cultural nationalism. Then there's imperialism, which is another sect of nationalism.
Yeah. I mean, something I notice about the left is they're very sympathetic to other versions of nationalism that just isn't white people, like such as Black Lives Matter or see the Native Americans. I'm going to take back my homeland with violence if necessary, and they're like, "Wow, so empowering." But but you notice that a lot. It's nationalism for thee, but not nationalism for me. Like everybody else can be nationalistic, but not the main sector of people of that country. Unless if it's China, but we don't talk about that.
Exactly.
Tim Gionnet, aka Big.
I have no idea who the fuck that is.
I know he is. Base Alaska? Is that who?
No, he said something else. Let me rewind a little.
McInnes. Tim Gionnet, aka Baked Alaska.
Oh, yeah, he's
Okay,
Baked
okay.
Alaska. That guy, if I recall, is just. I don't know his. I just know. If I recall, I just think he's just a racist.
I know he politically switched at one point to the left, and he started going back to his old ways before he supported Trump, but he got in a big feud with Mr. Medicare and started to call his fans toxic and started to invite more feminists onto his broadcast. So I don't know where the fuck he is, but I think he might be a grifter like Milo. Because how do you make such a 180 turn like so quick though? You're either extremely unprincipled, or you're just trying to grift. Yeah.
Stefan Molyneux.
Okay. Well,
Okay, that one's fair.
That one's fair. Yeah.
I used to be a Stefan Molyneux supporter, but keep in mind, That was before he went batshit crazy and started to talk about women's eggs. Like, there was a time, when you go back in time, these videos just follow statistics.
I mean, back when I started my political, started to be political, I was watching him, and the videos I did see of him were pretty reasonable. I liked his early
that's what I'm
work
trying
on.
to say. He just
Yeah.
followed the factual data, and then he went fully crazy.
Yeah.
This one you could probably legitimately call him maybe a pseudo-fascist.
Greg, a political channel, he honestly thinks he's probably what they call a rare example of an anarcho-fascist, where he doesn't want a big state. Like as far as I know, he doesn't like a big state, but he wants severely conservative views. Some even possibly genetically. Like, we're not going to have a state where women are going to be in the kitchen, and we're going to shut those borders. So he might be that, though. So you might be the only example of a sort of libertarian fascist that I know of.
Or maybe it would be better to just say is that he's not fascist but an authoritarian, because let's face it, fascism is also got an economic part to it. And the guy, last I recall, is not an economic suppressionist.
No. I mean, that's the one thing he stayed consistent even when he lost his mind, is that he's still economically very liberal.
Yeah, at best you can call him is just an authoritarian. Which, quite frankly, why don't we just say authoritarian? Why does everything have to be fascist?
Because we don't mention what Marx did. or no TM square. I mean,
I was more going to say because just like the modern art student, leftists are not creative.
Well, this is sort of the reasoning why I think that they do. Leftists are very good at revisionizing. I mean, not leftists, but Marxists in particular are very good at revisionizing things. And in their mind, the only reason that communism failed was because of order A, nationalism, or fascism. Like, the reason why Mao Zedong did all these terrible things was fascism. Stalin, they call him a fascist. And so in their mind, the only reason that communism failed was just due to petty nationalism and fascism.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, because fascism is very specific. There's like, I think it was like, there's three main pillars to what makes someone a fascist or a country fascist. One is its high sense of usually ethno-nationalism or an extreme form of imperialism, something to that effect. Or they have, and they have a sense of the economy being controlled by the government, where they have basically, they tell corporations what to do, what to produce, everything, but the state owns everything.
Yes.
I think we should also count what Benito Mussolini said, where in his own quotes, that fascism should really be considered corporatism because it's the unity between state and corporate power.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we have now with the United States federal government.
Somewhat, but not entirely.
I mean, we have a pretty big fucking government. It's like a $4 trillion government. Like a
and
year.
you do have military bases on every section of this earth.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more oligarchic in nature. Like they work together. They don't work against each other. So.
And then the other factor would be very little personal liberty. Like, you don't have freedom of speech, and you don't have freedom to defend yourself.
For
Those
fascism?
would be like the three main pillars of fascism.
Well, I mean, fascism on its surface is very hard to define. You have to understand that, again, the left has been very unified, for the most part, behind Marx. And when they do, like, if you look at the Soviet Union and Stalin, Mao and Stalin were on the same page, and they have a pretty unifying guy, which is Marx, that keeps them all interconnected together. Fascism doesn't, and so it can be many various things, be pretty adaptable.
Oh no, because I have done my research. Those are pretty much the basic pillars of fascism. What makes a country fascist, or makes someone a fascist.
So we also do have to understand a lot of fascists. They weren't exactly conservative. Like look at Hitler. Although I don't know if I would necessarily call him, at least Mussolini's version of fascist, is that they didn't bring back the king. That they did have liberal reform, and so I think like a sense of restructuring, because they want to hyper preserve something. Like they'd be
you
very
could have viewed then a dictatorship as a form of king.
Yes, but one that's not based off a bloodline or rule of God or ancient traditions. Like there is something that has been
Or the
reconstructed.
English.
Heck, but
All this
there-
insult the English.
yeah. But there is something commonly with most fascism is that they are reconstructing something on the effort of preserving something that has previously existed, like a race. But it is very, like if you look at their economic model, the one key part of all fascist belief is A, the preservation of something, and B, the authoritarianism, because if there is no authoritarianism, then they can't hyperly preserve it. Like you can't hyperly preserve a race if they can just go and fuck whoever they want. That threatens things.
Well, that's what I said. Is there's very little personal liberty. That's one of the pillars of fascism.
Yeah. But there is something, at least on the economic spectrum, I would like to discuss. Now, I don't know if I would necessarily label Pinochet as a fascist, but some fascists are a little bit more economically. So they can be very authoritarian when it comes to economics, or they can be very liberal if it benefits them. But they don't have like a utopianist version of economics, and so they'll generally be a bit more fluent when they need to be. Which
I would
raises
say the very most fascism could be is, at the very broadest sense, is around the center. Center to the left. Around the center and to a portion of the left. Like it's not a very far left wing in the sense of economics.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I find interesting is I think fascism can work with communism, because if you look at Mao, you look at North Korea, there's some intertwining beliefs, and if you even look at nationalist Bolsheviks, you know, you can quote somebody like Marx, and then you could go quote whoever the hell, you know, won for your fascist regime. So I think these two can actually work together, which a lot of communists don't want to admit, but they can.
Oh yes. For example, today you can make the argument that perhaps that China is more of a communist fascism today.
I think that they were a bit more fascist under Mao, because you know he really liked the Han culture, that dominant Han culture, and he just went to ham on those ethnic minorities. So
I mean, they're going on that again.
Yeah.
The better question is, did they ever release stock?
Yeah, true,
I
fair
mean, so I think it was not Dao Jinping, but the guy before the new guy. What?
Before Xi Jinping.
Yeah, Xi Jinping. Yes, the guy before Xi Jinping was a little bit more liberal. I watched a guy who lived in China under the last guy. People are a lot nicer to foreigners. He had a lot more rights. Like he owned a motorcycle, and one of the things that they took away was motorcycles. One of the things that he couldn't do was film his own house. And so when Xi Jinping, and a lot of people do agree with this, once he got in, China did get a lot more authoritarian. But I think they had sort of a liberal sprig after Dao Xiaoping died. But don't quote me on that one. So, yeah.
But yeah, anyways, fascism has mainly three pillars, and as far as the political spectrum, because I would still say the political compass is the best way to get a general idea of where someone lands politically, but fascism at most is around the center to going to all the way into maybe around somewhere the mid portion of the left. That's as far as it goes. It doesn't go like all the way to the right where it's complete economic freedom, or even mostly economic freedom, because that's just not what it is. That breaks like the principles of what fascism would be. because that's just we just have to look at what the principles of the founding fathers with fascism are.
Yeah, what the thing about the founding fathers is that on the slavery part, it never did say race, and it was stacked against actually breaking that. But they did allow like discord and discussion, freedom of speech to happen, which led to the abolishment of slavery.
Are we talking about the America now, or are we talking about the
America? The reason America, why it differs from fascism, because it allowed.
No, I was when I said founding fathers, I was referring to the founding fathers of fascism, not the.
Well, who is the founding father of fascism?
I forget his name.
Is it that Italian guy?
Yes.
Yeah. I need to read his works. I can't remember his name, but I need to personally read what the hell he
Fascism could be a German word for socialism? No.
No, well, no.
The German word for socialism is Sozialismus. Fascism, or fascism,
Fascism
is just the fascism. It's an
besides, fascism has been called by even the founders a better form of Marxism or communism.
No,
I mean
the guy who wrote fascism, I can't remember. It's G something, the Italian guy. He basically said it was a refined version of Marxism.
That's what I just said, a refined version of Marxism.
Yeah. Uncle Sam just says freedom.
But there is something to note. Mussolini is one of the first people to put this into practice. And you look at fash is another word for binding things together. And he's binding a bunch of sticks together. Those sticks or corporations or syndicalists. And if you look at what fascism or his party translated into English was nationalist syndicalism of actualism. Some strange adjectivism, if you know what the word actualism means. But compared to Hitler and stuff like that, Mussolini, I mean, he was still a dictator, don't get me wrong, but compared to Stalin and Hitler, he was on the lesser side of killing people.
Hey, Putza, don't insult Mussolini. You worked with my grandfather. I'm not joking about it. My grandfather did get praise from Mussolini and his work with him.
But like to get
Mussolini,
some
family history over there.
My grandfather hanged him on a gas station.
What?
I said, my grandfather hanged him on the gas station. Mussolini, no, I'm joking.
Anyways, let's continue.
Anyways,
Ben Shapiro. All of these people.
My God.
I mean,
my God.
I mean, could Zionism be considered as fascism? Fascism is more inclusive than what people give it credit for.
Wait a second, guys. I am going to play the most famous fascist song on the planet right now.
I mean, yeah, maybe you could argue the other people, but not really, but maybe. Well, Stephen Molly, yes, you can make the argument. Well, maybe somewhat of an argument but he's missing still one of the pillars. But Ben Shapiro doesn't fit any of those.
Yeah.
The guy's a conservative Jew. You can say he's transphobic, say he's homophobic, whatever the fuck. But he's not arguing for the eradication of people who identify as trans, who are gay or lesbian or anything like that. He's not arguing the death or enslavement of people.
Yeah, he's never advocated for violence against political minorities or anything like that. And if anything, most of his views, again, leads more towards economic freedoms and liberties than it does, like he couldn't give a shit for the most part what kind of race or ethnicity you are.
Yeah.
Although he will give $100 billion to Israel. But other than that, he's pretty cool. I don't have any gripes with Ben.
Anyways, the only thing that I wanted to say before was on Benito Mussolini, just to show or just to tell evidence of how he was one of the better dictators out there. in the early time of his dictatorship, he used to be a journalist, if you didn't know. And he was a bit of a traditionalist. And one thing that he really did keep up in terms of traditionalism is that he didn't challenge his critics to a debate. He challenged them to a duel, fencing. And there's at least one picture out there of Benito Mussolini fencing with one of his opposition.
I see the really funny meme of that, and it's a Chad Mussolini. It says, "I challenge you to death," and it's like an NPC, like label left. It says, "Challenge accepted, loser."
But yeah, this guy lost any form of argument once he mentioned Ben Shapiro. That's just there's nothing there. You can't argue that from a rational point. The guy is nowhere close to being a fascist. Yeah, is he a nationalist? Yes, he's a nationalist. However, economically speaking, he's very liberal. On the sense of personal freedom, he's very liberal. Couldn't you make the argument he's a homophobic, transphobic, all that? Sure. But as again, he doesn't argue for like the killing, enslavement, or like mistreatment of those people. At the most, he's just going to call a trans woman he and a trans man she. That's about it. At most you can say is he's a dick.
Well, I find his voice annoying.
I don't think his voice makes him a fascist, Val.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that I don't want to listen to him.
Well, you know, at least he didn't call him a Nazi. I saw a really funny joke when somebody called Ben Shapiro a Nazi. Let's just say hypothetically, I hate the Jews. I hate myself. All right? If I get a gas chamber, it just keeps going. And he's like, I want to nuke Israel. So it just gets kind of funny.
Yeah, that's the guy. Seriously, like, how does he think Ben Shapiro? Like, can you think of a reason why maybe perhaps people think that he's a fascist?
Well,
they just don't know that he's Jewish.
Again, you have to understand a lot of leftism now isn't based around. I wouldn't say it's not based around the scientific method.
Well, no, but I'm just trying to understand what is it that they think that makes him fascist.
Well, as long as you are against their perception of the world or your contradiction of the fascists, that by default makes you a fascist. You're kind of like how if somebody owns a lot of money, regardless of how good of the person they are, they're still bourgeois scum that deserves to die. It's kind of like that, and it's not so much that it's anything he believes or does. It's the fact that he's the opposition. And it's because you're the opposition. Again, you're all blanket termed into one group. See, left people. I mean, the left. I mean, the Marxist left, in particularly, they don't view people as complex. Very complex, like they view him more like objects. He's an object, and because he's an object that is more centered towards the right, he's now the worst hyperbolic extreme of it. There's a really good channel called the New Discourses Plus, but it's best to look at the modern left more like a theology, like a religion, than it is any sort of practical belief that has any basis of reality. And I say, again, Marxist left, which makes up a lot of the left at this point. But like take the concept
or
of
at least the most annoying portion.
Yeah, but take the concept of the utopia. The utopia is a concept of heaven, and what most Christians make of it is that it's a concept that transcends the earth, and it comes after death. A lot of the left think that it's in the world now, and if you only destroy everything that is inconvenient to their truth, then you'll get utopia. And it's not just what's the bourgeoisie; it's what's everything. So, fucking crazy, all of it. But
it's like the 72 versions.
Yeah.
Oh god, can I say this old joke?
What?
I can't remember who said it, but there was at least one person who made a whole joke of you blow yourself up for 72 virgins and you go up to heaven and all you find is 72 other blown up Terrorists.
Could you imagine Ben Shapiro during sex? As I say, hypothetically, mommy, I've been a bad boy.
But I fucking hate you.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, let's continue with this.
People are far-right
Alright, we're watching
demagogues.
a video.
All of them have either started out or are currently identifying as libertarian. And so it seems
I don't think Ben Shapiro has ever identified as libertarian. He says he has libertarian views, but he still identifies as a conservative.
I mean, look at it like this. I think that the biggest reason why a lot of conservatives don't entirely identify as libertarian is, well, you can't own the libs if you don't have a little bit of authoritarianism in you. You know?
Hmm.
But there is...
to me that-
I don't know. I think it's impartially why a lot of conservatives don't want to be libertarian is because the idea of legalizing prostitution, marijuana, or it's the fact that it could subvert Christianity or it could subvert its culture in some way. It's the reason why they're not, partially one of the reasons that they're not 100% aboard. So, yeah.
Plus, then you got the crazy libertarians who are for apparently third trimester abortions.
Or open borders. That's a very interesting debate with the libertarian community, and it's partially one of the reasons that I don't identify entirely as a libertarian. I mean, take the argument like this, all right? Let's say you have a big tyrannical government, and you go and you take care of that government, and you have a very libertarian society. Now, just imagine that all these businesses, all these corporations, all these people, they invest their money outside of the country. And then those countries don't like the libertarian state. And then they go and they propose a bunch of heavy tax and tariffs on that state. And now you're effectively living in the same government, like the one you lived before. You know, like if there isn't a national conscience, then how do you stop? Because other governments and other cultures exist. Like, how do you fight against it if you're 100% open borders? You know?
Well, easy. You start separating people by race.
Jeez.
Yeah, but what if you put all your
Am I
business in
wrong?
that place? Well, no, like, what if you go and you... Wait, what? But anyway,
I just asked, am I wrong? Because they are splitting people up by race. Right now,
Yeah.
if you're black or Hispanic, you're higher on the race hierarchy than an Asian person is, or a white person.
Well-
So, am I wrong with what I said?
I mean... Well, there are some reasons why they're doing it. Again, postmodernism just wants to get to postmodernism. It doesn't care how it does it or its long-term consequences. And so as long as they could be the most divisive and destructive ideology you imagine, as long as it deconstructs the modern world, all these extremes are on the same team. So...
Anyways, let's continue.
that there is such a thing as the libertarian alt-right pipeline. And why is that? Well, if you're a libertarian, allegedly, chances are you will be against programs such as affirmative action, state welfare, anti-discrimination legislation. Now, do we see a pattern here? In general, it seems to me that far-righters and libertarians have an awful lot in common. And that's because they both believe in this thing called personal responsibility.
So when you tell young people that the cause of the trouble they see around them in the world, and maybe even the disquiet in their own heart, is the malevolent inadequacy of their society, that rings true. And they don't hear the rest of the story, and it's the rest of the story that I've been trying to tell. They don't hear the story that, yeah, don't forget about the evil and corruption that exists in your own heart.
If you're a member of the left and you believe that all individuals are essentially just the outgrowths of institutions, and therefore that all change by individuals is going to be insufficient, and that it must be societal change that creates individual change, you're a threat, because you're telling people, well, the systems can certainly get better, but the main threat to you is you, and that is a deeply threatening message to people. And if people find fulfillment in that message, then the left really does have a problem, because if people start improving their lives within the system and not blaming the system for their problems, and instead recognizing that they can improve their lives, that's what members of the left hate most of all. You talk about in the book, Jordan, the fact that people are constantly coming up to you and they're saying things like, I was leading a dissolute life. I read your book. I started taking your advice, and I've turned it around, and now I'm doing much better in life. And I'm blessed to have much the same experience from a lot of people who listen to the show. People who have been homeless, who now have graduated Harvard Law School. People who were single moms, and then decided to take a college course and figure out their lives. People who've made mistakes and turned their mistakes around. And to me, those are inspirational stories. I think that because those inspirational stories exist, that I think is why people find you to be such a threat. It's because so many people are inspired by the stuff that you say and change their life individually without putting all of their ire and focus on a system that the left is mainly focused on tearing down.
So there you have it. Individual
I'd like to say
responsibility
something.
means that...
Yes?
I could summarize his argument. Hey, son, you need to get a job and take more responsibility. The leftist son. You fucking fascist!
That's how it does sound like.
I don't see how them letting them have more responsibility and everything equates to fascism. Like fascist ideas, they would have kicked them out, deported them, steal their shit. And it's not so much of, because I don't think that they're judging them indifferent from themselves, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure that white people aren't just going to get a bonus check. Hey, guys, going in for my white check. You know, I'm pretty sure that they're egalitarianly forcing this. Wait a minute, quick question.
Yeah?
Would you be racist for $1 million?
Yes.
If I can be racist towards communists, then yes.
Well, what kind of racist
That's
communist?
not the question.
They aren't human. That's why they're another race.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'll take a check. I wouldn't be racist towards xenomorphs. Those goddamn chest bursters inward. Acid monkeys.
Anyways, let's continue.
We should solve big problems through small individual changes instead of systemic approaches. The system isn't broken, the individual people are. You know, if you have 10,000 black people living in a ghetto somewhere, the systemic solution to black poverty would be targeted social programs, improving the infrastructure, enforcing laws against discrimination, and so on and so forth. Whereas what Ben Personal Responsibility Shapiro would do is he would roll up in his Bentley and tell those people to start a business or something, which is basically just the equivalent of hand-waving the issues of those people, like, yeah, whatever.
No, not exactly.
Yeah, I'm sensing some Marxist thought here. I'm sensing if daddy government doesn't do anything, then... that's what it's sensing. Like, he's forgetting that the free market exists. And you don't need their government bumper sticker to, have that.
We can just explain it like this, in the fact that the government has been doing that for decades, and if anything, situations have gotten worse for blacks. And that's because they've been reliant on the government. They haven't been self-reliant. They haven't been relying on themselves or their family members. They've been relying on the government. And that has ruined their mobility, that has ruined their quality of life, that has ruined just everything for them.
It has ruined their society.
Well, yes.
Well,
the reliance on government has ruined things for them. They were moving quite fast before this reliance on the government, in the sense of economic mobility. They were getting more wealth. They were gaining more wealth, but once the welfare state hit, they started losing that, and so now they are in a continuous spiral downward, within the sense of, well, their abilities to improve upon their communities.
Well, a really good way to look at this is that when you sign something into law, it just doesn't just disappear. Like you can't make cancer illegal, you can't make aging illegal, and so what's sort of the idea of why a lot of people are against universal income or rather universal health care is that an institution is going to be enforcing it. And these institutions can be very corrupt, they're non-competitive, and it's because they got that approval. There's essentially, since it's law now, there's less of an incentive in a sense, to uphold it, because what they're doing is self-righteous. And that's like the thing. There's a reason why people don't trust the government to tell what kind of drugs you can put, for the most part. Tell you what to eat, tell you where to sleep. And that's because one of the government's role is that it's a force amplifier. All right? It is a destroyer, not a creator. And the free market is based around creation and not destruction.
Well,
And so
creation and also change.
Yeah. It is a naturally adapting force that will suit whatever human beings need. The government is more of a foundation, a force.
It's a foundation, a stagnant system.
Yeah. Now, it's one that I think that we need to some extent, but it's not one that's meant to solve our problems. But it's more to keep a stable order of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that's what a lot of the left, and it's one of the biggest problems I have with the left, is that if you essentially just sign it into law, or you essentially just make it illegal, then it just goes away. And unfortunately, this is translating more and more into an economic sense. And you could argue that a lot of them has essentially lived under a pseudo-communist-like system. They live under or they live under a form of planned economy, where they lived on buildings that are built by the government. They get a check by the government, and they essentially, a lot of their finances are by the government. All planned economy. Like a lot of cities, they're always centralized planning, and they run it like a pseudo-communist-like system.
Yeah,
so I can see why they're struggling.
Yeah, because they have no incentive to change. There's no incentive to change. Why put in the effort when you're just going to continue to get things?
Yeah.
That's the whole reason. That's the real thing that Benjamin is arguing here, and this guy doesn't seem to understand, is that because you put these things in place, there's no reason to change, because there's always going to be someone to pick you up. It's the same thing with like drug addicts. If you help a drug addict out, they're not likely to change. You have to have them hit rock bottom before they will potentially fix themselves.
What you're saying, Outlaw, is that you're my enabler.
Hey, wait, does cock count as a drug?
No, I have a plastic crack issue, and he's enabled it.
Oh. I said you had an Argentina addiction.
Anyways,
I'm
let's
breaking up.
continue.
Give me a second.
Ever just start a business?
Can
or
you guys
something.
hear me?
And that's because if
Yes. Anyways, let's continue.
you subscribe to the idea of personal responsibility, then chances are you believe that the system we have currently is fine or mostly fine. And so the problems don't lie in the institutions, they lie in the individual people. Hey, would you look at that? Sounds like these right-wing libertarians really want to conserve the current system. Wow, I wonder if there's a political movement dedicated to that exact goal. So yeah, basically if we follow the idea of personal responsibility, we end up invariably with conservative social policies. Quite a coincidence, isn't it? So if the
Wait a minute. I don't agree with that statement. I think it's hypothetically possible to be a conservative communist. Like look at it. Like take the Soviet Russia. All right, you could argue that going back to Stalinism or a more authoritarian, or just going back to communism would be a form of conservatism. So if we had a massive, like going back in time, like let's say to the founding fathers, things were really libertarian, you could argue that that's in a way conservatism. If we're just going off his definition of things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that they're poor and they have no opportunities, well, it's their problem. They're just lazy. They don't want to work. And if some soy-chugging cocked lefty points out that, hey, by the way, there's been systemic discrimination against black people, redlining policies, ramming highways through neighborhoods, you know, the disproportionate incarceration of black people for non-violent drug crimes, breaks up families.
Which is only half true. The non-drug thing. Again, I'm going to say this. I'm for legalizing drugs for adults. I don't give a shit if some 25 or 45-year-old takes crack. I don't care. As long as they're not doing it in public, I don't give a shit if they're taking crack or any other kind of drug.
Outlaw,
But-
you sound like a very terrible authoritarian.
But to say that that black people are getting disproportionately arrested for drug crimes is only half true, because those areas that they are doing is, for one, they're getting arrested more for violent crimes, and sometimes there are drug offenses that might be tacked on. There's also the fact that those areas are more policed, so police are more likely to come across people who are taking or have illicit drugs. The other factor, for example, like with marijuana, is that apparently there were some studies done. Black people are more likely to take drugs outside than they are inside their private homes. So they're more likely to be reported on. Like the police will be called, and then the police will come, and then they'll be arrested. So it's not that just black people be arrested for just using drugs the same as every other white drug users. No, that's just not the case.
The phrase is white-blooded American.
Anyways, let's continue.
And ruins communities. All of these concerns can be just hand-waved, dismissed with personal responsibility. Because you can just tell them, well, liberal, you say, let's say that black people are, let's say, discriminated against. But have you heard about this thing called personal responsibility? Yep, they can just move, or they can just create a business. They can just, let's say, stop being poor if they want to, but they don't.
No one says that. No one says that. No one.
Only people who say that are, so far I've heard, liberals. And not, yeah, liberals are the ones who have said, like, stop being poor. Or do I need to bring out a perfect example of someone who's turned full-on liberal but is still full-on retarded?
Go on.
Kim Kardashian.
Oh, we talking about the one that married Kanye?
Yes, the only one that really counts.
Anyways, let's continue.
Anyways, the reason why I'm bringing her up is because she fell into a bit of controversy recently.
Yeah, I know, where she said that she finds people are being lazy and they should just work.
No, that if people want stuff to change, they have to work hard to get it. And it's like, your entire makeup brand is made by Lebanese children. Well, that's not counting the other portion where her fortune comes from. So yeah, she's not exactly an expert on the issue, let's just say it like that.
And our other guest has finally arrived.
Hello, I am here
No,
to
he
brace
is.
you all with my presence. Anyway,
Oh,
I'm
I
so
heard
sorry
you're
about
packing.
that. Yes, I now just bought the most expensive firearm that I own now. Yeah, I went to the gun range yesterday, and my 45 ACP was like not hitting the target at all. And it hasn't always been like that. Like when I first purchased it, it was shooting accurately, very nicely. So I took it to the gunsmith today, and because they're going to have to work on it, I'm not going to have a firearm. So I decided to get another firearm. This time I got a 9mm for a backup. So.
Well, anyways, let's continue on with this video.
9mm
What does this mean about them? Right, so basically all social issues are channeled back onto the individual. If you see a bunch of black folk in a ghetto, your first question will not be what system produced this inequality, but rather, how come all these people are so lazy? And oh boy, does this result in some interesting follow-up question.
And no one just says they're just lazy. It's the fact that they don't have any self-improvement because there's the government incentivizing them to not improve.
Let's Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, plus, their own culture has been built. Their culture is, just face it, black culture is toxic. Most of it is toxic. Today's black culture. Black culture from the 60s and before was good. It was progressive in the sense they were improving upon themselves. But today's black culture is gang culture. That's what it's based
fatherless. Well, no, that's not a joke. It's true.
I know it's true, but I'm just thinking of what's the other phrase? Fatherless and your mother has multiple siblings because the paycheck is high.
Yeah.
Or something.
Oh, and the answer to your question, Z Commander, is it's a Walther.
Okay.
Anyways,
And my other question was, how did you get past the background check?
Yeah, I know.
You
the
are a bit
FBI thinks
concerning.
I'm okay to own a gun. Who'd have thunk?
I'm
that's
just
the
going to ignore
concern.
that. But anyways,
I told you, I'm not crazy.
but anyways, I forgot. What did he say? Oh, that's right. Black people and that their neighborhood. But yeah, no one is just saying they're just lazy. It's said that there is the government incentive because of welfare. That's what conservatives and libertarian argue against. It's because of the welfare system and also because of the culture that has been made into the black community with gang culture. Because they have this idea, oh, if I just sell drugs, I'll make money. Why should I care about, anything else? Why? Who gives a crap about having a nice, clean, safe community? Like that's
Yeah.
kind of what the culture is in with the black community. It's based around violence right now because they have the gang culture. That is what has ruined the black community.
I also believe that it has to do with them not showing a different path, or they kind of have like this mindset that they can't achieve anything else other than this violent way of life.
I think that also might be partial because of this the victim culture as well that's within the black community.
And systemic racism.
But yeah, it's a combination of three things. One, the government with creating the incentives to be there. Two is the gang culture, and three is the victim culture. Those three things are a recipe for disaster. Have been a recipe for disaster for the black community.
1,000,000,000%. As a matter of fact, I want to even go further. It's not just black people that have it like that. It's all races.
Well, yes, to some degree.
Yeah, when you have those three combined, especially.
Yeah. Well,
Yes?
yeah, there's a very good contradiction, the whole leftist idea of things behind how in particular a minority should handle economics, everything. You look at Japan, they're a bunch of poor peasant farmers. They industrialized, they did everything in their power by A, blaming themselves, and B, off of practical systems such as the family, such as honor, such as many things that made them a power that competed with the West for a long time. Until to this day, they almost surpassed the U.S. in economics in the 80s. So it's not so much like somebody tried to explain is not everybody is equal, and I don't mean through race. Like, take somebody born without any legs, he has a disadvantage of not being able to walk. But it's not necessarily these things, because nobody's perfect, but there is the idea of essentially going past this problem, or working, or not letting this problem defy you, but rather working and solving and persevering. Like, there's not a whole lot of perseverance anymore. It's that you're a victim, or that you're pathetic, or you're just this term and you're not a person. And you have to be like that regardless. Like, even if somebody is able privileged, that doesn't defy what this person can be or not to be. Like, for God's sakes, you've seen some of the people in the Special Olympics, they're fucking ripped as shred and can probably outrun a lot of people who are, normal. And, they didn't let their condition affect them. Like, for God's sakes, there's a blind architect who gets paid millions of dollars to build buildings. So,
Is Chinese the one hosting the Special Olympics?
Yeah, for the Uyghurs.
Anyways, I think we should continue.
How come all these black people seem to be unable to succeed in this meritocratic fair society created by white people? Is it a cultural problem or more of a biological problem?
Ben Shapiro never has said a biological problem. That's just absolutely... If he's trying to insinuate that Ben Shapiro has argued that it's a biological problem, He has never argued that.
Can one argue that humans are like canines? How some breeds are more
No.
what's the word?
There's
Susceptible to.
In fact, it's been found that breeds aren't necessarily that different from each other anyways.
Just wanted to throw that out there. You wanted to say something, Putza, right?
Oh, shit, what was I trying to say? I mean, no, so something that they don't understand is that these are a series of principles, like such as liberty, the scientific method, and capitalism, that got white societies where they are now. If you look at the former societies, they were dipshit, feudalistic, backwards ass mofos. They have anything for a long time. China had an advantage over them. And so it's a series of principles that made society the way that it is. Case in point, Japan, South Korea. All right, they're not guilt-based backwards societies. They're people that get shit done, and that's because they actually use the scientific method and these following principles, with maybe the exception of democracy, to get to where they are. And anybody can emulate this. And now there's a lot of reasons that, such as like rooting out corruption, social mobility, and maybe how even the resources of your country that can lead to, superpower or status like that. But even the lesser European countries, they can at least be stable and they can at least be peaceful.
Agreed.
And so, it's mostly an idea problem, and that's because, again, postmodernist theory, they're preserving these backwards ideologies because it helps deconstruct them. It helps keep people down. And, this reminds me a lot how Greece, how you have a very self-righteous upper-class group of people that were very righteous in morals, but they were party freaks and animals that couldn't give a shit about the population. So, yeah. So they have that kind of...
Kind of what?
So they kind of have a form of sadism. We're not fucking caring about anything.
Hey, would you look at that? From one of the biggest foundational principles of libertarianism, we have organically arrived at white nationalist talking points.
No, you have not. You did not.
No. I just want to apply his concepts to, I'm pretty sure off of these very vague, limited standards, that we can make the Soviet Union look like an look like an NCAP paradise. Hey, look, somebody bought a piece of ham with rubles. I mean, it's a set price, but look at it. That's capitalism. Shit, man. Hey, look at this guy. Hey, look at that Soviet premier. He had some gold on his table for 5 minutes. Anarchy. Proof right there. Bam.
And this we call the libertarian alt-right pipeline. And
which is utter bullshit.
The main issue of this libertarian idea of personal responsibility is that it's just so fucking vague. What does personal responsibility...
No, it's not. It really isn't vague. It's talking about you take care of yourself. The government is not responsible for you. No one is responsible for you except for yourself. Now, yes, you can ask family members for help. You can ask your community for help. No one argues against that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, people encourage that for you to try to seek help if you're struggling with something.
Absolutely. But don't let that be your crutch. Don't depend on it. I mean, help is help. Just to get you back up on your feet again.
You were going to say something, Putza?
Shit, I was. Yeah, I'm here. I mean, I was. Well, no, I was eating some tater tots, and I was going to have a really good point, but then I was eating tater tots.
Anyways, Z, do you have anything you wanted to...
Oh, wait a minute. Now I remember. No. Now I remember. Okay, so he keeps talking a lot about like a pipeline between like libertarianism and more fascist thoughts, which Okay, so that does happen occasionally. Like they are examples of people that like we discussed with Molyneux, who go a little bit batshit crazy, or who do legitimately turn to fascism. But I don't think it has anything to do with the right. I think the reason why they go to this path is because idiots like this that keep constantly calling them fascists, and it's just it's these examples that lead them towards there. And it's kind of like there's this really funny meme about when like somebody goes libertarian to fascism, and he's like saying, "I've been called racist 768 times today." It's buddy, what are you doing? He starts putting up clown makeup. We live in a society. So I think that's the reason why that happens.
Anyways, let's continue.
It mean? In what sense? In what context? In what philosophical framework? And the answer is whatever you feel like. I mean, it's so vague it can be anything. That's the beauty of it. And this exact same thing happens to the other fundamental libertarian ideas, which are complete control over your person and your property. And so, Christopher Cantwell, a speaker at the Unite the Right rally at Charlottesville, also known
he
as
has a
the
Donald
Thai
Trump
Nazi,
flag.
a former
He must be a
libertarian, by
bitch.
the way, wrote the following in his blog following Charlottesville. People should be free to exercise complete control over their own person and property. If blacks are committing crimes or Jews are spreading communism, discriminating against them is the right of any property owner. The fact that he may or may not miss out on good blacks or Jews is a risk he takes, and the merit of his decisions will be proven out by the market. So once again, the ideas he takes as a basis are so vague that he can just effortlessly integrate his beliefs into them, and it all works out okay. And so, if you are a person with empathy and a good understanding of the world, you realize that currently, in certain areas of life, especially in America, systemic change is needed to bring about more happiness and better outcomes. And that requires state social policies, anti-discrimination laws, affirmative action even, welfare programs, which will also go to a lot of non-white people due to their socioeconomic...
You can maybe make the argument with the anti-discrimination laws, but with welfare programs, no, you can't. There's no good argument because we have seen that they have not worked. There's no evidence to show that they have worked. If anything, there's evidence to show that they are actually hurting those communities, hurting those people from being able to improve upon themselves.
Yeah, in case you all haven't also noticed, is that he seems to indicate that we will all have a problem with black people in general. It's really starting to annoy me.
Now, well, what exactly was his quote? Did he says that somebody should be able to choose to discriminate, or he's discriminating people from business?
I think it was the idea if someone's committing a crime on their property, they should basically be allowed to kill them.
Oh,
I think that's what they said. A black person commit. No, hold on. I can rewind to the quote. So this is what it says: people should be free to exercise complete control over their own person and property. If blacks are committing crimes or Jews are spreading communism, discriminating against them is the right of any property owner. I guess the idea is that if they're doing this on their property, that you should be able to do that.
I see. But he does seem like a bigot if he's just using the blacks and Jews as an example. I guess Asians can do nothing wrong, but...
But so what's been with you with Asians today? First it started with lesbian porn, now it's dish.
Wow! I mean, I can't decide what Asian women taste like. Soy sauce and General Tso's.
Oh my god, wow. I don't know, depends on how they wash themselves. Sometimes I'm sure they taste like fish.
Anyways, let's continue.
White people due to their socioeconomic circumstances. In today's America, white people seem to have most of the power. And if you tolerate the status quo, or who knows, maybe even support it, then it is quite simply in your best interest to side with political forces that are all about maintaining the current status quo. And would you look at that, libertarianism does exactly that. So this is libertarianism from a social perspective, acting as an ideological platform for all kinds of unsavory folks on the far right. But hey, you might interject, libertarianism is not just that. It also has a lot to say about economics. It wants to free the markets, it wants more freedom for everyone, freedom to do business, freedom to buy or sell whatever they want. It's all about achieving liberty, free of any government meddling. Hence the name, libertarianism. It all sounds nice, but here's the problem. Hierarchy is inherent in capitalism. Your boss can be an incompetent dipshit who just got parachuted in.
Hierarchy is in every system. Let's just say that. It doesn't matter what system you have. It's in every system. It's in communism as well. Because you can't take it out.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and the hierarchy isn't necessarily a bad thing either. Like, imagine an army without any generals. So.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just depends on who's running it. They can be good or they can be bad.
So Putza, you mean Saddam's army?
Hard.
Let's continue.
Into his position through his relatives or something, and still have all the power over you while you have no power over them. And they can decide about your livelihood with a stroke of a pen. Capitalism is also coercive. What if your boss is a total, emotionally abusive dipshit who just makes employees' life a living hell? I've had those bosses before. It's not fun, and I ended up resigning in all situations, but only because I had plenty of options. But what if...
Wait, what did I just say? Can I pause this? I have no control. Okay, so let's put the hypothetical situation in this. You have a shitty boss, and if you speak out against your shitty boss, you may lose your job. Then move over to the Soviet Union, and you have a shitty boss, and you complain, and next thing you know, you're working in a concrete hole in the ground. Doesn't exactly sound like an equivalency.
Yeah, it's better to be fired from a job that you're under some jackass, and then now you can just find a new job that potentially has a better manager.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the job I work now I actually like because the manager is pretty relaxed and assisted. But the thing is, with capitalism, you can leave. You're not forced to go there. If you were in a planned economy, you would have to be forced to work under that guy, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Like, there are terrible tales of the Soviet Union, how, like, a lot of people try not to work hard, because if they would work hard, then they would be forced to work a lot harder. There's not a fucking thing that they could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, at least in a capitalist society, not only could you advance, but you could literally become your own boss. Like somebody made a really good statement about capitalism. Student loan debts, like they wouldn't be a loan that you could get to potentially advance yourself to become the middle to upper class. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen in a communist society. So,
yeah, where you're at is where you stay, essentially.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
If I didn't, I would be screwed. I would have had to show up to work.
All right, one more
take all the abuse
comment. All right, so partially why there were so many people that's starving in Ukraine is that they killed, I believe, a couple 100,000 or like a lot of people that were really confident at farming, and because they shot everybody that was better at farming, that caused a famine because nobody who was good at farming was left alive. So
yeah, and then on top of that, whoever was farming all the supplies were going to Moscow first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, those Soviets needed that welfare, so.
Now, your point, that is a fantastic point, and leaders, rulers, kings need to understand that they are there, because of the people under them. Without the people under them, they're nothing. They're just good rulers, but they're not going to get their food. They're not going to get this or that, and it's going to be absolute shit, and they're probably going to die. So, yeah, you make an absolute great point.
Smile on my face and then pray to God I don't get fired, because if I do, I'm sleeping under the bridge. Right, so it seems to me that right-wing libertarianism is not really concerned with, liberty, and it's only used as a...
No, it is concerned with liberty. You're just misconstruing liberty.
Facade for the true agenda, which is the creation and maintaining of hierarchies.
No. Because you can never get away from hierarchies. There will always be hierarchies. Stop with the bullshit. Move on from that.
Wait a minute, is he arguing for anarcho-capitalism?
No, he's arguing
He
probably
does.
for more. Probably for just a communist system, because I'm pretty sure this guy.
Well, how the fuck are you going to run it without a hierarchy? What the?
As I said, you can never get away from hierarchies.
You want to
It doesn't matter
funny?
what system you have, whether you want to call it anarcho-capitalism or market economy, communism, Marxism. There's always going to be a hierarchy. You can never get away from that because that is just human nature.
Yeah.
That's also like nature and animals a lot of the time.
Yes, as well.
Could you imagine
That we
communist
call-
stance? One more thing.
What?
Communist stance.
stance.
Wait a minute, wouldn't we still rely on the queen to reproduce? Shut the fuck up.
That would explain the inbreeding.
I'm gonna tell you guys something. I want to see if you can see the humor behind it. So a bunch of anarchists organize and form a hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that fucking hilarious? Organized anarchy.
Technically, anarchy also has a hierarchy. It's just whoever's the strongest and the meanest.
Yeah, it's called Darwinism.
Yeah.
Right-wing conservatism, which happens to be a precursor to right-wing fascism. And a few years ago this would have been a rather outlandish statement. However, since then we had the Republican Party's hard shift towards the far right, 4 years of Donald Trump, we had Charlottesville and the very fine people on both sides.
And of course, he uses one of those pictures.
God damn. I mean, I guess we can use to chart corpses of, let's see, that children from the leftist anarchists who went and burned down, I don't know, half of fucking America, or the millions of fucking communists that were at this place when, fucking no.
I hate. Is he just is he just stupid or is he just intentionally lying?
I think it's.
I would say a bit both. Yeah.
Because we've gone through this so many times that the guy, Donald Trump, even if you want to think he's racist, okay, let's give you that. The guy does not support neo-Nazis or the KKK or anything like that.
What? They don't? The left mainstream media has been lying to me?
Anyways, the guy has Donald Trump condemned both the Nazis and the communists at that event.
The left don't
because that
know
quote is completely taken out of context.
Obviously. Is that actually the picture of that vehicle running people over?
Yes.
Oh, that is so beautiful. Look at them. I hate Antifa. Fucking terrorist organization.
Well,
Wait a
anyways, that event was a legitimate murder the guy did there, but regardless of that factor, Donald Trump did not
He now
support.
got a gun still, Frank.
Donald Trump did not support the neo-Nazis or the Nazis or whatever you want to fucking call them. He didn't support them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, something that is interestingly in a note is that when people who are legitimately bigoted partake in a capitalist system, they often, as long as the work is getting done and they're turning a profit, they often don't give a fuck about who they're doing business with.
Yeah.
Like even if you were like one of the biggest racists ever, would you turn down $1 billion if all you had to do was tolerate somebody for a couple hours a day?
I mean, heck, we could just look at the founding fathers. I mean, everyone was racist back then, and they still liked having that black pussy.
Oh my god.
Calm down,
That's
Jefferson.
True.
I am not happy with this conversation. I have standards.
Very limited standards, but you have them.
Fuck you.
But yeah, I think that's it for this video because I'm done with that.
I did warn you that this guy's retarded.
Wait, I have some.
But it's the
I know, I'm
fire
going to the
training
palate
retarded.
cleansers. Okay, let's
Damn it,
see.
I upload.
Let's see.
Wait, before that, I just want to share. Share screen. Brave tab.
What are you trying to share?
There we go. I just wanted to show evidence of it.
I don't see anything. Val, I don't see anything.
Zed, are you alive?
Okay. Uh-oh. He's gone. Here, I'm gonna be sending y'all a picture.
Of the gun?
Yep.
Are you sending it in the private chat or Discord?
Discord.
Okay, well I can.
Because I have no idea how to send pictures through that.
Okay, share.
What's up? What's up? There you go.
I'm sorry, but oh well.
I mean, I don't like to brag, but it's not as big as my 12 gauge.
Well, I should hope your 12 gauge is bigger. That'd be really weird if your 12 gauge was smaller than my pistol.
That would make a really weird argument. Look how long it is. Yeah, but look how much power mine's packing.
Okay, he says something here. StreamYard might have killed my computer again.
Oh. Well, I will still send him a picture.
Anyways, you want me to take out that portion of the video later because I did have your name in there because of the one message you had sent me.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I'm sorry.
Well,
No,
yeah.
I
I mean,
I
I'm
don't
eventually
think it-
going to change it anyway, but yeah, I guess so, just to be on the safe side.
I mean, I
Okay.
trust everybody in our comment section. They're generally some of the most relaxed people I've ever seen.
I don't know, that diaper wolf. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's up to you, so just let me know if you do.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, for, long term, I mean, when the video is more permanent, yeah, if you could, I guess, blur that part out or whatever.
I'll see what I can do. Let's just see the mark. It's going to be around the 1:30 mark. Okay. Now, why don't we share the clips while we're waiting for Z to get back if he can. So, let's see here. Ah, he's back. Let me
Oh,
just-
and I'm predicting next weekend I'm gonna go on a boat trip. So I might, lose my new gun. So just, keep that in mind.
Jeez.
Oh, Diaper Wolf owns 4 guns. Oh, shit.
I too.
There we
own,
go.
There we go. I
The proper
also
way this
own
should be
4
organized.
guns as
Oh,
well.
fuck you. Fuck you, Outlaw.
There we go. Finally, I can share my team without StreamYard trying to kill my computer. Yes, that's good old Mussolini challenging one of his opposition.
Anyways, let's bring back this thing. Alright. Oh, hold on. No sound. It's here. Let me just rewind.
Yeah, because the video's mute.
Yeah, I know. I'm muting it. I just needed to rewind.
Hey, it's muted. Oh my lord.
What the fuck?
I've seen this before.
I don't get it.
Oh,
You don't have to. You don't have to get it.
He just hit the boobs.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Jeez. Yeah, that happened so fast I didn't see him smacking the knockers. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, you want to see my itty bitty bunny milkies?
Oh my god.
Okay, just this once.
I think we're bad
I love that game.
Oh jeez.
All right. I think I might have sent it.
Sent what?
Or was that the Joba King video? Give me a second. Yeah, I think that was the Joba King video. All right, it's my last one I wanted to show. Here it is. It's in the comment section now.
It's the last what? Oh, this thing you have here?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just bring this up.
I need to start contributing to these palate cleansers.
Oh, you got something too?
Yeah. So this is the thing I found yesterday. Currently in Ukraine, we've got neo-Nazi militias who obey the orders of their Jewish president doing battle with radical Islamist mercenaries sent in by the Orthodox Christian country, all in the midst of a modern, fully digital battlefield. This whole thing is like if you locked Hideo Kojima and Tom Clancy together in a room with a shit ton of cocaine and told them to run.
In a couple of years, this will be an epic movie.
Oh no, I think...
To tell you the truth, Luke, your father was a dick. Always defying orders, always putting our lives in danger. Hell, he even tried to have sex with his apprentice a few times, but when he got caught, he acted like we were crazy. That would have been fine had he not done the same thing with your mom. Yes, that's right, he got married behind the Jedi Council's back and thought we were stupid enough to not notice it. Every time I would try to bring it up, he would call me a fag and throw a tantrum. Then he started going crazy after a few bad dreams. Killed Dooku, which I'm pretty sure is a war crime. Killed Mace Windu and even some fucking kids. When his wife and I try to talk him down, he goes crazy and chokes around like a fucking lunatic. I kept trying to talk to him, but he started babbling slogans at me. So, I let him have it. 13 years of pent-up rage and frustration. 13 years of dealing with backtalk from a kid you rescued from slavery. I went all out. I told him it was the high ground, but from a certain point of view, that was bullshit. I just wanted to cut his limbs and watch him writhe in pain. To suffer like I suffered while dealing with this bullshit for 13 years. I even told him I loved him like a brother, just to add salt to his burning wounds. Go on, ask me if I regret it. I don't. Anyway, after that I left and he became a cyborg mass murderer. He was a piece of shit then, and a piece of shit now.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
He was a good friend.
all right. I lied. I got one more, but it's one of the funniest shit you'll ever see. I promise.
Yeah, don't worry. I got a bunch of stuff to show y'all.
Oh, you gotta save some of that stuff for the next time.
What?
No, just have it come all out.
Yeah, I'll
right
find. I'll find other things. Don't you worry.
Just send the thing you want to send, and then I can show my stuff, and then we can end the stream, and then we can watch the first episode of Spitting Image together. So the stream isn't cancelled because, sorry, audience, apparently Spitting Image holds more control than fucking Cage.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the other things that I wanted to bring up. Congratulations, Outlaw, for finally making it big enough to where YouTube actually gives a shit and will start banning you.
Wait a minute, I got banned with 1 subscriber.
I have no comment on that.
Anyways,
my crime was playing copyrighted music.
Oh,
Batman. Batman stands next to his Batmobile and uses his Batcomputer. He's sometimes Bruce Wayne, sometimes Batman, all times orphan. Alfred, Batman's loyal battler, carries a tray of Gotham. An explosion explodes. Joker is a clown, but insane. Two-Face is a man, but attorney.
He's Two-Face and One-Face. They hate me for being a bat.
Batman throws Alfred at Two-Face. Two-Face flips Alfred like a coin. Alfred lands heads up, which means Two-Face goes home.
It is just you and I. The Joker, Bat versus Clown, mortal enemies.
I am such a freak. Society is bad. You drink water. I drink anarchy.
I drink bats, just like a bat would.
Batman looks around for his parents, but they are still dead. This makes him have anger. He fires a bat rocket. The Joker deflects it with his sick sense of humor. A clowny power. I have never followed a rule. That is my rule. Don't you follow? I don't.
Alfred gives birth to Robin.
Alfred begins the process, since it is his job. The Joker now has a present in his hand. He juggles it over to Batman.
Happy Bat Day, Birthman.
Batman opens the present, since he's a good guy. It contains a coupon for new parents, but is expired. This is a Joker joke.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. That's really good.
Oh, God. That's something.
Oh, my
right.
God.
How do you have now? What's this?
Just watch.
Oh, it's the Crowder thing.
Oh,
I'm
right.
an artist. I'm an activist. I'm a serious macaroni and cheese maker.
There's actually not as strong of consensus about the relationship between being overweight and being unhealthy.
These people are so fucking retarded.
All right, turn me into C. Matheson. Ready?
Oh, God.
I swear those people are so fat that their fat has actual I can't say it. Gathered into their brain.
Are you looking for something?
Yes.
Let's share
Okay,
what
guys.
has here.
I got real quick, I got a your mama joke. Your mama's so fat that the commune couldn't commune her.
Oh my God.
I finally found what I'm looking for. But okay.
We are here to kill chaos. We must kill chaos. My quest is to kill chaos. Chaos will die. I can't fucking stand chaos. It pisses me off. Chaos won't escape. Chaos killed my wife and fucked my dog and recorded it. Chaos. I have the MP4 on my MacBook. Chaos is a loser nerd with no friends. Chaos. This is the shrine of chaos. Chaos. We're here. Mom said it's my turn to kill chaos. We are here to kill chaos. Chaos. That's my mission. I hate chaos so much. It's unreal. Chaos will be with.
I guess he
only
really doesn't
know
like
one
chaos.
Chaos. I want to kill chaos. I can smell chaos, so I think he's around. This is the shrine to chaos. I just shit my pants. He's here. Chaos. Chaos pissed on my doormat. Chaos. He was trying to draw his own face with his piss. Chaos is the speed-eating champion in Scranton, Pennsylvania, Chalupa Division. Chaos. I won't rest until chaos is defeated. Chaos hates capitalism, and yet he participates in it. Ironic. Chaos. Fucking piece of shit. I hate that guy. I won't forgive chaos. Chaos. Chaos bought the last Skylander at my local Toys R Us, even though he knew I wanted it. I'm going to kill chaos. Chaos. Chaos can't even bench one plate. I know that chaos Chaos is here. Chaos
That's
is
cool,
Team
huh?
Edward. But I haven't seen Twilight yet, so I don't know if I'll agree with that. This is the end for Chaos. I should have known Chaos was Chaos won't stand in my path. Chaos will taste my revenge. Chaos does a lot of volunteer work and makes a big impact in his community. I hope Chaos doesn't think my shirt is weird. His opinion means a lot to me. Chaos. Chaos downloaded a bunch of dolphin porn onto my computer. So comments on there. Chaos. Who are you? I am Chaos.
What the hell was Oh my god.
Chaos seems like a pretty nice guy.
Alright, keep quiet.
I think this will be the last thing.
No. I've been holding back. I'm gonna show some things right now. Keep quiet. Y'all are gonna learn some fucking German.
Hallo Kinder! Ich heiße Klaus und das ist Johnny. Hallo Johnny! Wie bitte Johnny? Du? Du hast... Wie bitte? Du hast eine Bombe. Hier? Ich muss dir verdrehen. Für die Kinder!
Maybe just... Oh god.
My name is Brent, and I'm going to be reading for Aquaman. I am so sorry, Olivia. I am so sorry.
Wait, is that who I think it was?
Who's ready to learn some force? You called me new, Anakin. You were the goodest boy. Oh, damn it.
What's going
I mean, I laughed, but at what cost? Hello! My name's Robert! I like to play ping pong! I'm also not in disguise! My hat fell off. I also like murder mysteries! I also need to clean my nose! Did that work, Noah? Yes! The nose falling off was enough for me. All right, class, we will begin the day by taking roll. Kyle Grundleman. Here. Cool, Bethany Sanchez. Present. World Heavyweight Champion Kofi Kingston. I'm sorry, that was World Heavyweight. All right.
Perfect palette.
Yeah, we checked your place for mites. You got them. You ever just... just the setup. The setup was enough.
Oh my god. That was a potato.
For coming in today, I know that phobias are a hard thing, and I feel like both of you have a lot of trauma from early stages. I'm going to do something that helps a lot of our patients get over some of their fears.
I'm your used diaper from when you were 4 months old! Why did you poop in me? Why did you poop in me? You pooped all over me! Why did you poop in me?
So that usually helps people who have problem defecating in public.
I hear it's someone's birthday! Which one of you lucky ladies is turning 38? It's maybe 10 minutes, so it's whatever you want.
Oh my goodness.
I went to sanity.
Did I win? You did!
Her mama was a cowboy and her daddy was a cowboy and now she's also a cowboy. And I was born on the river and you were born on the river and
I think that's enough because we can't watch this entire video.
Yeah.
We can.
I don't know, Neil. I don't know if we should do this.
Come on, if the Bible says that if as long as we don't touch, it's okay.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I was not expecting
You
that.
actually got it.
I actually did it.
That turned very homoerotic. Very cool.
Jojo Sebra.
Nice.
That's honestly pretty cool.
Ivy. Hi, Taco Bell? Yes, I'd like to punish my butt.
Oh my God.
And now, giving her a commencement speech, Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Oh my God.
I know we all thought that it would go a little different. No, I did. Maybe pantsuit this time, but you know.
Oh yeah, it's time to get this bread.
What the hell?
It's been too damn long! And I have not been on Try Not to Laugh! Me, Courtney M. F. Miller!
Film. That's right. Oh! It's my favorite Teen Titan! Beef Boy! Noah and Ian, you guys look like a before and after smoking crack cocaine! You can't tell in which direction! Basic.
He has the power to break all of them.
No, don't break!
Hey y'all, what's up? My name is JoJo Siwa. I'm 6'7" and my dad is a skyscraper and my butt is a flower.
Okay, I think that's enough of this video.
It's good though.
Wait.
I do like that show.
I have one more, and then we're done.
No.
I have one more.
There's always one more. There's always room for Jello.
Alright, just send it.
I think I just did.
Oh, let me see.
I don't see anything.
No, we already saw this.
How about now?
Okay, let me see.
Can you see it now?
No, puts it. The only one over here. The last one is the chaos one.
Oh no, he has a new one now. It's reading comments on that video, I guess. We can go through that. Share.
Chaos. Chaos probably closes the refrigerator door with his hip. Chaos ate all my chimkin nuggies, and now I'm hungry. Chaos calls them steamed hams, even though they're obviously grilled. Chaos pissed on my kids at Christmas. Chaos made a dookie on the urinal. I'm here to kick chaos and chew chaos, and I'm all out of chaos. Chaos made strong eye contact with me while aggressively farted in a crowded elevator. Where is that damn? Where is that damn? Where is that damn fourth? Where is that damn fourth? Where is that damn fourth chaos? You mean the Chaos Emeralds? Chaos repeated the joke I just told, but louder, so that the class only heard him say it.
Chaos repeated the joke I just told, but louder, so that the class only heard him say it. That's hilarious, buddy.
If you don't also hate chaos, you're not allowed in our men's polo club. I'm pretty sure I saw Chaos double dip a tortilla chip one time. It's so sad that Chaos died of ligma.
Who's Chaos?
Replace chaos with sex. What does that even mean? Oh shit. Chaos shit in the pool at my YMCA. Chaos claps when the plane lands. Chaos is an R34 artist, and he won't even draw me. I can't tell you how many times I've watched this.
Oh jeez. Okay, well I think that's enough, so we'll end the stream here. So, for those who are still watching or are watching the future, please give this stream a like, subscribe, share it, comment down below, and tell us your thoughts. And of course, please consider donating to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi. And then also, don't forget to support Z Commander on his Patreon or commission him for something. Because he is trying to reach a goal for his commissions. And of course, if you or someone you know needs life insurance, please feel free to contact me. As I said, I'm a life insurance consultant, so they can speak with me and I can consult them on different policies that might work best for them or what they're looking for and get them the best quotes possible with the best insurance possible. So please do all this and we'll see y'all later.